Because nobody's just like going out and being like, all right, Saturday with the boys, let's bust out the luge. Like, the corpse of John Madden hasn't even pulled out of the driveway yet. We're hopping in the new 2024 Ford Bronco.
What color?
White, obviously.
1, 2, 3, 4.
How many ways can I think to say, gentlemen?
What's up, fella?
How we
So
doing?
good to be back.
Joe. Welcome to the Juice Boys Show. Three brothers-in-law stupid enough to start a weekly sports podcast. Too stupid to stop after. How many, Joe?
31.
Hey, founded by
my
the three
God,
B's.
boys.
Booze, bullshit. Oh, I forgot it. Betting.
That's the whole juice.
You used to make fun of me
Juices.
so hard, dude.
That's right.
my
Right. Shows
God.
drop every Friday. Be sure to follow us on Instagram, YouTube,
We're
TikTok.
falling to pieces
all
over
the
here.
latest updates on other fun pieces of sports content. This show's blowing up like the New Orleans Saints cap situation, boys.
Oh, that's not
wow.
good.
Not funny.
No, that's really funny, but I mean, but that means that we're doing bad because they're not doing well with
didn't think
their
about
cap. Yeah. You're like negative.
Cody's got
$80
the
million
local improv team writing his ads or his jokes.
Yeah, welcome to the show. I'm the third turd Cody. We got Mr. Paul Pelletier. We got Sultan of Sifty, JoJo.
Sifty.
50.
You're a Sifty. We're Sifties.
Sifty and
on this
Swifties.
We got a sports doc. We had a fun sports doc, a very diverse sports docket. We got a big potato. We got a 3 listener squeezes, boys. We got a
go,
stat of the day
listeners.
to round us up as we're in between. Combine has started. In between a lot of things, baseball is getting going here. NHL and basketball are back after the All-Star break. But first, what, boys, are we drinking? JoJo.
Oh, he's doing some sort of gang sign with his hands.
I'm just excited because I love this one, but I don't know what I don't know what I was just doing with my hands. I just felt like I think it was the
I'm intimidated.
It was the Napoleon Dynamite Happy Hands. The Happy Hands Club, yeah. I'm just excited. So we're gonna have some fun tonight.
Do you love your brothers-in-law?
I do. I got one back to Old Faithful. I haven't had this since the first couple weeks of the show. It's one of my favorites and my go-tos. John E. Fitzgerald Larceny, Kentucky Straight Bird.
Johnny Fitz.
It's outstanding. It's a great cheap
Oh,
buy.
nice pop.
Good pop.
That was
Pop, the fun don't stop.
That was a COVID classic. We went through bottles of that during the old pandemic.
really kept them afloat.
We did our
was-
part in the economy. I don't know about anyone else.
We
But,
we really did. And
All
then
right,
I
Chris.
I brought back the Beer Chaser.
that's right. It's been a while.
Oh,
Well, I finally feel like
best beer in America right here.
I
What
finally
do we
feel
got?
healthy again. Like I was sick for it seems like I don't know if I've been healthy so like the day of 2024 yet. It just seems like I just keep getting
Falling to
something.
pieces.
And so no more hot toddies, none of that. I'm excited for actually a good drink of whiskey and one of the best beers in America, Stone IPA.
Oh wow, best beer in America again.
It's not even
Wow.
Mount Rushmore at this point. It's-
Every single time. That Mount Rushmore is a little crowded.
Yeah, it's one of the best iconic West Coast style IPA. Stone, incredible. I've been to.
Would you ever buy a subpar beer at this point?
No, dude. I'm not. And no more Jim Beam Blacks. All right,
I'm
I'm
insulted that you would even
Yeah.
mention that.
Good
I'm a
for you.
classy broad, McCoy. So,
All right, Chris. Let's get through it. What do you got
Oh.
to drink? What do you
Got a
got?
little California red going on today.
What?
oh my God!
Is it? We got a blend. What do we got?
So this is actually what's known as a Manhattan.
Oh my God!
I just wanted an excuse to talk shit about Cody drinking
Come
wine
on.
in this space one more
Come
time.
on. Oh.
but it looked like you had a glass of wine in your hand.
I know. I just poured it into my actual glass. Yeah, now you
that
can
was
clearly
pretty-
see that it's a Manhattan.
That was pretty funny. That was funny, but
Yeah, suck it, McCoy.
Well, this is sad, but I can't remember what I'm drinking, guys.
Which
It's brown.
That completes my to-do list for the day.
Hey, good.
done. Two things.
For those that
an easy
can't
day.
see it, it said tell McCoy to suck it. It was on his task
And
list.
engage in tomfoolery.
Yes, which we are about to do so. I can't remember what I'm drinking. I'm drinking brown stuff, though, guys.
Okay.
So shout out to whoever distilled this.
Wait,
Wow.
my-
I'm very
Oh, really?
confused. What are you saying?
I don't know.
You don't.
I don't know what. I'm
What
drinking.
is it?
I don't know. It's whiskey.
No, okay, liquor. It's whiskey.
Oh,
okay.
liquor. Yeah.
Put it up. Put it up to the camera. Let me see. Okay, it's light. All right. Is it peaty? Is it bourbony? Is it
Bourbony.
yeah?
You know,
Is it
my
bourbony?
family proudly comes from Bourbony.
Yeah. What is it? What is it?
I don't know. I can't remember.
You were I know you were a sommelier, but
Yeah, you
are
worked at a
bad
wine
at
shop
it.
for like
Yeah.
17 years.
I just
You're
can't
bad at this
remember,
for
guys.
winning.
I can't remember. We haven't brought this segment back in a while, but this is probably one of our favorites. Juice Boys fuck up and have to correct themselves. We got a Juice Boy correction, guys. Last
right,
week,
yes.
We haven't had one since our second episode.
no, we've
Was it
stayed. You know
third?
what? Journalistic integrity is gone in this country,
crushing it,
in this
boys.
world,
We're crushing
but not
it, boys.
here, not in this here podcast, in this program. We will admit our mistakes. We will correct ourselves. So, old JoJo had a take about the MLB All-Star being worth something because the winner of the All-Star game in baseball gets home field advantage in
Yes.
the World Series. I said, I don't think that's true. Joey said, fuck you, you're wrong.
That's right.
And what
And I
did we
said,
find
and I
out,
said
Joe?
it with, and I said it with conviction.
His
Yeah.
exact
You know,
words.
yeah,
And what did we learn, Joe?
that I'm wrong.
Yes.
That I'm wrong, and it's been like 10 years since that actually mattered.
2017.
Yeah, so it's been like not 10 years, but it's been a long time since that mattered. So I'm embarrassed. I will eat crow, and I thought I was more of a baseball aficionado than that. But gotta step my game up.
I can't believe that we're here to witness that Joey didn't know something about baseball.
So we want to apologize to the
Disappointed
thousands
in
and
myself.
thousands and thousands of listeners that we led astray.
Yeah, you could just name a random year from the last 100 years, and Joey will be able to tell you the World Series winner and their batting order.
Yeah.
No, no,
and
yeah,
their
Yet
blood
still
type.
managed to.
Maybe
Yeah,
not batting order.
I believe
But
in
he
you.
was wrong. And I was right, actually. So we had to make a correction. Hopefully we don't have to bring this segment back for a while.
It'll be
Boys, let's
next
jump
week.
into the sports. Yeah,
Next week for
we'll see
sure.
how we get through this. Let's jump into the sports docket. We got a fun one, very diverse. A lot of sports happening, but we're
Right.
going big nuts, big balls. MLB
Okay.
has a big PR marketing move. I don't know what you want to call this.
It's
It was a choice.
fiasco.
They made a
It's
choice.
They made
and
a
it
choice.
turned into a fiasco. Yeah.
Yes. How do we explain this? Nike is responsible for the new jerseys in baseball. Fanatics has manufactured these jerseys. And this week we found out they're very see-through and lots of pictures of twig and berries appeared
It
this
It
week.
is that poor player for the Giants. I mean, that was like pretty risque. Like when they show when they show it on like pardon the interruption and things like that, they have to put a little logo over it. I mean, it was like you can't go out there. Somebody you work with, so that this one of the females at work, I should say, it doesn't matter. You know what? Somebody at work just said, you know what? I'm gonna be way more into baseball now. So this is 2024. Who cares who said it? But it said I'm gonna be way more into baseball now. We're gonna go in and watch the games. It's bad, dude. I mean,
It's
you
so
can
bad. Oh my
see
god.
straight through it. It's not even just like the lack of pants. It's
Lack of thread, really.
the
I mean,
thread.
it's,
Yeah, but
it's like one ply
thread counts
toilet
low.
paper.
the numbers are tiny. The letters are tiny, and then they curve in this most like bizarre way. They drop down the logo that's been up on the neckline for like 100 years, and they drop that down below now, so it's like right next to the name, the lettering in the names, and it's just so chintzy, so bad looking, so cheap, and everybody is so pissed. This like the players are like, you've got 6 weeks to figure this out. Like we got to not even that anymore. Now they got like 4.
I thought sex sells, but man, not in this case. This is not a good look for the MLB.
You can
I
just
love
see
it.
straight, like you can see. It's not even okay. So
There's
you know,
no
a lot of players-
imagination. There's
No, I mean, there's
They
no
took the
imagination.
creativity out of it, you know?
yeah, there's
And it's not
nothing
like
to-
every single player's just
Oh
going
my
out there
God.
free balling it every single game. They're like that's not the case. All right, a lot of them wearing the compression shorts or whatever. But however, say you play for any team in the league. I was going to say any team. They all have a white uniform and they all have white on white. Whether it's pinstripe or not, you have a white on white for your home. And then when you tuck in your shirt, you shouldn't have to be able to see your shirt tucked into your pants if you're wearing compression shorts. Like that's just a simple thing, and they just can't get that right. and they're tiny. Like they're saying that they're tight on all the players and ugly, and it looks cheap and bad.
It looks so bad.
Nike's
So
blaming
bad.
Fanatics. Fanatics is blaming Nike.
Just fix it. Just make new
Meanwhile, they're all
ones.
just out there like, can someone get us
Give me
a
some
towel
thread.
to wrap ourselves in or something? Like, get a bathrobe.
Players might we might see the like a rebirth of the jockstrap now. No, that's been gone for so long.
Joe, did you ever wear a
It might be
jockstrap?
back. No, I mean when I had a
He's wearing one right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this program is pro Bulge, but not an MLB
What?
jersey.
What the hell are you talking about?
God,
Anti Bulge, pro Bulge. What's this program? We need to make a stance right now.
do
If
we?
you're
I feel
comfortable
like we
showing
don't
it,
have to
otherwise,
anything.
no. I don't want to take it. I don't want to take a stance on the Bulge.
What about the Battle of the Bulge? Joey, would you like to share some opinions on the Battle of the Bulge?
Battle of
Yes.
the Baseball Bulge might be the name of our episode.
Beautiful.
Moving on to the next sport, guys. MLS has kicked off. Inter Miami is the odds-on favorite to win. More of a backstory here. I'll explain. I want to get the boys' thoughts here. Inter Miami had an international tour for the preseason, only because of Messi, let's be honest.
yeah.
Messi goes to Hong Kong with the team, warms up before the match, doesn't play the match, and the Hong Kong government and the fans are all demanding refunds from Inter Miami and the MLS for Messi not playing. This is kind of a big deal because Messi's the biggest player in the world and the biggest sport in the world. He is still in his prime. People have said technically right now he's still in his prime. So my question for you guys
Seems
is,
to be.
what obligation does Inter Miami have, the owners have, the coaches, the trainers, Messi himself? What pressure or obligation does he have to go out there and perform? The guy moves the GDP needle for countries. That's why they paid a lot of money to get Inter Miami and Hong Kong to please their citizens and their community. It's a weird logistic.
Okay, so they can demand
political even. But
they could demand the money, but like, what if they just say no? Like, what's going to happen?
Yeah, what are you going to do? Was there
Lawsuits?
some
I
sort
don't
of clause in
Okay,
the
lawsuits,
contract
but
that
it's
says
separate countries. We're gonna
Messi
get, like,
has to be playing?
we have to get like Interpol involved in here. Was this like an international crime? Like what are they going to sue for?
I don't know. Does Messi just need to take care of himself? Does he have an obligation to go out there and try to play hurt to please people?
No, absolutely not.
Absolutely not. Like, okay, if he was doing load management, like our favorite player Joel Embiid before he actually did get hurt. So sorry, Joel Embiid.
Damn.
Good
But-
apology. There's
Yeah,
a second of the episode.
Yeah, sorry. But before that, like or anybody else, Kawhi Leonard, anybody else, to just like, okay, just so I don't get hurt, I'm not going to play. Yeah, I think that Messi's at the point now in his career where he absolutely can't do that. But if they're really doctors, if the team doctors can write off and say, no, dude, he's got a hamstring pull, he's got a tweaked ankle, he's got something he can't. Like, and if they could say that, show that he went out there and tried in warmups and it didn't work, only then it would be okay. But otherwise, he has to go out there and try.
And they're all friendlies too. That's the weird thing. I guess he's
He's
done
he's the
18
biggest figure in the world. He's the biggest
Yeah.
sports figure in the world.
Yeah, I mean, what does he owe the people of Hong Kong? Like nothing. Like absolutely nothing. Like especially for a friendly, like it's not a competitive game. This is not one that means anything for my team. Like why would I push myself for a game that means nothing just to do what?
please you.
Yeah, to
government.
impress a bunch of people that I don't necessarily have any opinions on, owe anything to. Like, yeah, I mean, what does Messi owe? Absolutely nothing whatsoever. I get it. It's a bummer. Like, would have been nice for them to have had a little bit more of a heads up, but like, such a sport. I remember last year, my wife bought me tickets to go watch Jokic versus Luka and Kyrie. It was right when Kyrie was supposed to be coming in, starting to actually play for the Mavs. And then they went ahead and benched his ass for another week. And so it's like, yeah, we definitely paid a premium for those tickets to see that matchup, only to have it wind up being Jokic versus Luka. That was disappointing, but like, guess what? That's what it is to be a sports fan.
Well, Hong Kong, suck it. Can we say that?
I mean,
Can we see some?
we're
This
still
is
waiting for a
definitely
cease and
how we're going to
desist.
get our cease and desist.
Yeah, we're
It's
still
going to come
waiting.
from a high altitude weather balloon. They get dropped directly into McCoy's lap.
But moving into let's hit the NFL real quick. Antonio Pierce supposedly has Mahomes rules. The Raiders beat Mahomes for the first time ever during Christmas. They completed one pass in the second half, and there was 2 returns. They did win, but what do you guys think of the story? Antonio Pierce is on Max Crosby's podcast, so he's kind of playing the room, playing the crowd. He knows who's listening. This is also in reference for younger fans to the Jordan rules that the late 80s, early 90s Pistons, when they played a rising star in Michael Jordan, not even rising, he was there, and Michael Jordan had to get through the Pistons, and pretty much the idea was to beat the shit out of Michael Jordan anytime he came into the paint. Cheap shots, elbows, shoves, make him earn it at the free throw line. Pretty much everyone knows it's somewhat playing dirty towards the players. So when Antonio Pierce says the Mahomes rules, everyone's kind of speculating, okay, you're trying to hurt him. What's going on here? This feels like a dumb move, but I'm an extremely biased Chiefs fan. So I'll give this one to you boys.
I mean, dumb in what way?
Like, how did it work out for the Pistons?
Okay, so I'm just saying, but like dumb in what was so? What do you think? Like what's his motivation here right now? He is trying to become the AFC's Dan Campbell. That's 100% what Antonio Pierce is coming in there. Like, remember him as a player? That dude was a badass.
I liked him. Yeah,
he was fierce. He was intense. He was the leader of the Giants who took down the undefeated Patriots in 07. He was the middle linebacker on that team. You know, he's a great player. And this right now is just them saying we are not afraid. Like we are going to go straight at you. I think the only way that this could actually become an issue is if Max Crosby just goes ape shit and rips his head off, you know. And so it's like, which I could see happening if you just get into his soul, into his head, and you're just like, Max Crosby, I know that you were born in a Colombian prison. All right, I know this.
the trailer park of a Colombian prison.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Sorry. The trailer park of a Colombian prison. Okay. It's like, I know this. All right. And I want you to play like that. But please just don't kill him. But do everything you can besides that. But don't kill him. Yeah. But I
just don't think you should have said it publicly either. It's like you don't think Mahomes is going to read that and then also be like, okay, bring it on.
I like it. It's setting a culture.
Yeah, I feel like that's exactly why you say that, is that he'll say, okay, bring it on. That's interdivisional shit talk. Like that's exactly what I would expect out of a new coach coming in, going right at the teeth of the team that's been sitting at the top of your division for the past, couple of years. Yeah, just like what, 2, 3. Yeah, but I mean, you go right at the teeth of, who's been sitting at the top and make a challenge out of that. Like, what else is he going to do? Be like, oh, well, we're really hoping to be competitive, maybe 2, maybe 3, like, no, you say we're going to go and kick the person in the teeth who's been responsible for the success in this division of recent.
Yeah, we're just going to play back.
You can also say all this in the locker room. You don't have to make a podcast episode out of it and piss off the guy.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, podcast episodes now.
The Raiders haven't won
the great podcasts out there. The great podcasts out there, just like us. It's just our entire purpose is to have takes and for people to be able to have
Well, you're an NFL head coach. You don't need takes.
100% you do. So because unfortunately, people aren't reading the daily newspaper to have the beat writers, little comments on there. Back in the day, coaches were always talking shit about each other. It just you had to read newspaper to see it. Now it's just there's other mediums that you can get out there and do it. I think this is outstanding. He is trying to prove himself. I know that I know when they were all saying they're going after Brady when he was coming back and the Brady rule and all that crap. I understand. I was very protective of over Tom. I get it. But me not liking the Chiefs. You didn't know that? No, okay. I'd be pumped. I'd be pumped if I was a Raiders fan. It's like this dude's he's gonna send it.
He thinks he found the recipe to beating the Chiefs.
No. This is playing politics. This is
exactly what it is.
This is me drumming up support for our fan base. This is me starting the hype train for next season, where I'm officially at the helm. I officially get to be the one making the calls. This is him recognizing the political aspect of what it means to be a head coach in the National Football League. Whether or not it becomes anything or not doesn't matter. All of a sudden, us professional talking heads are talking about it. And all of a sudden the Raiders are on everybody's, talking points list, even though they've not done anything to be there other than
20 years.
going on a podcast that I didn't know existed until yesterday and talking shit.
Just is done, like, it only made Jordan better. Also, remember when I compared him to Jordan? I think Antonio Pierce did the same thing. So I think Mahomes is Jordan. I'm right again.
No, Jesus.
Jesus,
Here we
this horse
go.
is beaten to a pulp. It's just a red stain on the floor.
And to wrap up the sports docket, guys, ESPN came up with some kind of formula. I don't know what it is, a ranking for the most difficult sports.
It's a lot of data.
A lot of data.
We love
analysis
the data.
and statistics.
Yes, they claim they put a lot of things together, including endurance, strength, power, speed, agility, flexibility, nerve, durability, hand-eye coordination, analytic aptitude. They came up with the most difficult sport in this order: boxing, ice hockey, football, basketball, wrestling, martial arts, tennis, gymnastics, baseball, softball, soccer, alpine skiing, water polo.
Wow.
Rugby, lacrosse, rodeo, steer wrestling. Others are like pole vault, field hockey, speed skating, and figure skating. Long distance cycling, volleyball, racquetball, and squash. Good for them. What do we think of this list that ESPN
I
compiled?
love it.
I think it's incredible, but I think it's also absolutely insane to say that ski jumping is the second to easiest thing that you can possibly do. That is that is absurd.
And it's next to badminton? Wait, why is badminton on?
I guess like
Badminton made the cut, boys. Can we talk about a little more badminton on this show?
But I mean, ski jumping, there's no way it's that easy. There's no way it's that easy.
We would
just you have
die.
to be that crazy just to do it. Are they saying it's really not that hard? You just got to be that crazy to just go for it. I love this thing because it shows ice hockey is number 2. I am really getting into ice hockey the past few years with the Avalanche, and it's becoming a really big thing. Like at my school with all of our kids I'm starting to see like actual like McKinnon and McCarr shirts and people like wearing Avalanche gear, and it's cool to see that it's like, wow, that's actually really hard. But yeah, no shit, it's hard. You're on ice skates hitting something 100 miles an hour, a piece of rubber that can break your shins 100 miles an hour, and also fighting's allowed, but
Encouraged even.
yeah. Football number 3 is pretty sweet.
Hold on, but where's golf at, guys?
Yeah, that's
Golf
the thing.
is insane.
Yeah, but like this is just the top 30. I imagine they probably did like 100 or something, right?
Wait, golf is not even in the top
No,
30?
golf is not in the top 30. Badminton is harder than golf.
Badminton is
what
harder
they're
than
saying.
golf.
Okay, so wait, what are they talking about?
love
Just
it.
going out and doing it, or being like the bestest at it? Because it's like you to be like a PGA golfer, yeah, that's really, really hard. But then, like, just saying that if you break 100, you're better than like 90% of golfers in the like that play. Wow, what's their?
It's got to be.
metric here?
It's got to be some sort of like competition level, right? Because nobody's just like going out and being like, "All right, Saturday with the boys, let's bust out the luge." Like, there's no fucking way, right?
What?
Luge is on there, dude. Luge is right above
Luge
ski
is
jumping.
number 28.
Right above
It's on
ski
the
jumping.
list, so it's
Yeah.
got to be some sort of reference to competition capabilities.
Oh my god! And if football's number 3, shouldn't rugby be number 4?
I don't
Rugby
know.
is a
I mean,
brutal
you don't
sport.
throw
I
it
don't know
forward,
how
though.
it's
So,
so
I mean,
low.
because you don't have the forward pass. I guess you have to kick it forward. But then I've also heard that they say the hardest thing to do is in professional sports is to hit a curveball, and baseball
yeah.
is number 9.
Or a 100-mile-an-hour fastball? It's literally the hardest thing to do. Is one of those two things.
You notice how none of us are arguing that boxing is the hardest.
I was just going to ask. Any thoughts on the boxing?
No, that's not like
Boxing is insane.
That is
Over
the
martial
real-
arts. Over martial arts.
I don't know, because you got to think martial arts. You could be an outstanding wrestler. You could be an
Yeah, you've got a number of
like,
different
up
skill
against-
sets, right?
Boxing, you got to just be able to stay up there and just be a tactician on.
Yeah,
just
boxing, you're playing a
destroying the
live action
body
chess
in the
match with
face.
someone who wants to murder you. It's so mentally grueling in addition to physically grueling. I do not disagree with boxing sitting at the tippity top.
Shout out to handball. Handball outdoing
Handball's
golf,
so
guys.
fun. Handball's
Wow.
so fun. And I agree with tennis being 7. I suck at tennis. Tennis
is
is
hard.
so hard, dude. I can't get the motion. I just want to crush it like a baseball. And it's just like every
Yeah,
time
no
I see it,
home
like,
runs in
it's
tennis,
just
Joe.
gone.
when you
I
play
do
with them.
just
every
want
time.
to shit talk gymnastics at number 8, if for no other purpose than the eventual text I'll get from listener Dr. Frenchie.
Still holding.
Yeah, when I think
cigarette.
gymnastics, I think Will Ferrell dancing with the ribbon in Old School.
Yeah, that's all we know.
That's all gymnastics ever has been.
Composure.
Of course.
Keep our composure.
All right, boys. Well, we don't agree with this. Thanks, ESPN, for this little talking point.
It's not that I
That'll
don't
do it for-
agree. It's just very, I gotta know more about like what is this?
I mean,
Like,
steer
what is this
wrestling
stats,
made the
you know?
top 15, boys.
Yeah,
Look at
because I mean,
this.
a top 15. Okay, so you're saying
steer's gonna
that
kill you.
it's harder to throw a pass in football than to wrestle a steer. Hell no. No, dude. No, that's ridiculously hard. So what is this? Oh, you guys all know my buddy who lost all of his teeth when he was 16 years old, getting kicked in the face by a bull. All of his teeth.
I did not know that. You say that as if like this is just your standard go-to story.
Oh, gosh. That'll do for the sports talking, boys. Music break. All right, gentlemen, we are so back with Squeezes of the Week. We got a listener segment.
Squeezes.
We have
Plural.
three.
Squeezes.
Oh, I love it.
We
Hit
have
us with
Squeeze
it.
high.
Three.
Ooh,
Squeeze
Big family
high.
episode, too. We got Nephew Ryan's back.
Hell yeah. Let's go,
Oh,
nephew.
no.
Godspeed to him.
course.
How old is him?
How old is him?
How old is him? know what I
Him
said.
is 13.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Wow.
For all of our new listeners, this
Cody
is where
hates
we
children, and
usually-
we're going to witness that again.
Yep. He sent this in. Subject line, I might like him. Mahomes is better than Manning. Here we go. It's time for
Okay.
Nephew Ryan.
All right,
You know,
Nephew Ryan
Ryan.
trying to buy McCoy's love after getting kicked in the teeth the last couple of
I
times.
see it. All right. It's time for Nephew Ryan to come out of retirement and make another blazing hot take. Mahomes is better than Manning all
Gotcha.
time. Love it. Starting it off.
Already, okay.
Yes, starting it off rings. Mahomes just passed up Manning in Super Bowls, already has him in Super Bowl MVPs. Manning only has one. Mahomes already has 3 at age 28. When Manning was 28, he didn't even have a Super Bowl, winning in his first when he was 30. Comparing Manning to Mahomes, when they were both 28, Manning had no rings. Comparing Mahomes 3 Super Bowl MVPs. Manning has 2 MVPs at 28. Mahomes has 2 at the moment. Mahomes has thrown 219 touchdowns, and Manning's at 216 when he was 28.
Ooh.
I mean, the stats don't lie, but Mahomes still has about 11 or 12 years left in his career. He could pass up Manning MVPs and have it not even be a debate. I'm a diehard Bronco fan. I'm so sorry. So you know that greatness is showing. Mahomes is retiring better than TV12, by the way.
Oh, Ryan, no.
Ryan's about to get written out of the will.
Ryan, I'll get out of the way, but I love it. I think you're right.
Oh, that was it? That's how he
that was
ended it?
That's his
Oh,
squeeze.
that's how he ended it? Just taking a shot at me like that? Oh.
Nephew Ryan is back
After
in my
all
good graces.
Joey's done for you, for this
Wow.
family.
Are you gonna call? Who's gonna call him out, dude? Who disagrees?
Okay, so just gonna say the exact same thing I'm saying to you, dude. Like this is just Regency bias. This is just what's happening right now. Everyone's just like, oh, Mahomes. Oh,
Greatest
okay.
thing we've ever seen.
Okay, maybe to this point, but Jesus knows there still has 4 more to get to Brady. All right, so anybody can say yes, as you pointed out several times, Cody, when Brady started his career, that he was more of just just the dude. He was the guy. He wasn't the dude yet, right? Even saying that he had 3 Super Bowls and 2 Super Bowl MVPs. Okay. Later on in his career, he became the best player in the league and became the best player that like we've ever seen. And then Mahomes comes around and he's taking that potential. I like how he says better than Manning because Peyton and Brady were going at it the whole time. That's what made them the best rivalry in sport, like in NFL history. They were just going back and forth. They were contemporaries, so you can say that I might take that.
Was Brady a Hall of Famer at age 28?
No, I'm not talking about that right now. He
Was
says
he?
that,
Answer the question. Answer the question. Was it?
yeah, because he already won 3. He already won
No,
3.
We just said he wasn't he was just the quarterback of the team. He
I
wasn't a
know,
Hall
but
of
it doesn't
Famer
matter.
at age
Oh, what
28.
did we just say last week? Troy Aikman won 3 and he's a Hall of Famer. All right. So yes, Tom Brady was a Hall of Famer because he won 3 Super Bowls. Yes, of course.
In
he was.
fairness, we were talking about Troy Aikman in a conversation about the most overrated players of all time. Joey, back to you.
Hey, yeah.
Brady was
Won
not a
3
Hall
Super
of Famer
Bowls.
at
He's
28.
Yes, he was. He won 3 Super Bowls. Of course he was.
That
And
has
2 Super
nothing
Bowls
to do with
MVP.
the
Hall
Hall
of
of
Fame is
was.
Hall of Good. He was definitely good at 28. Back
Okay,
to
he
you,
was good.
Joe.
Thank you. But he was
Chris?
definitely he was a Hall of Famer at that point. However, let me finish my freaking point here.
I'm here to just
All right. Now,
stir shit.
I would say that I agree with Ryan on this because I think that Mahomes is better than Peyton Manning right now. I think that's it. I think
all
he is.
time?
Yeah. He has 3 Super Bowls, dude. He has 3 Super Bowls. He has 50 touchdowns. He has the best winning percentage we've seen ever in the postseason at this point. I mean, you can't argue with it. If he retired right now because he broke his neck and he had to stop, you would just be saying that he is better than him because that is the sample size that you have to look at. And I would say at that point, Peyton Manning has 2. It was incredible with 2 different teams. That was incredible. He has 5 MVPs in the season. 5 regular season MVPs. That's absolutely incredible. But Mahomes doesn't freaking lose. And right now, I would put him. I'd put him right there with Manning. Maybe I think they're 2A and 2B, right there, underneath Brady. Damn it, makes me so angry. But I
Chris, what do you think?
I'd like to alley-oop it back to Joey. Mahomes doesn't lose, but he did lose to somebody in the Super Bowl.
Brady.
Oh yeah,
Brady
That's
lost
right,
twice
yes, he did.
to a worse team in Eli Manning.
Okay, but I know, but that's dude. What I just say, 2A and 2B. Number 1's Tom Brady. Come on, dude.
Joe, I had a question for you. How many rings would you give up for the perfect season to have ended up being a perfect season? Would you give up any?
2.
You would give up 2 for the greatest season to ever happen? I love that question.
To say that he would have 5 and
Plus the 17-0.
Yeah. Yep. I think a 17-0 would have been that much better, but I mean the 7 is still just ridiculous.
Because it goes into the Chiefs, how much do they sell the future to go for a 3-peat to have something that no one's ever done before? So that was my Chris, do we disagree with nephew Ryan?
yeah, absolutely.
Really? Oh, come on. Here we go.
Oh
Let's
my
get through
God.
it. Go
Yeah,
for it.
yeah. Are we surprised that a child is enamored with recency bias?
Oh my God. Okay, yeah.
I'm a big believer that the children are our future and that our future is fucked. I'll go ahead and take McCoy's normal role here in talking down to the kids. But yeah, recency bias
hates
all
the
over the
children.
place. In order to be able to say definitively that one quarterback is better than the other, it's just an impossibility. While he is 7 years in, right, McCoy? And so could he wind up putting himself to where you can make the definitive statement that Mahomes is better than Peyton Manning? He's absolutely got that opportunity. If he continues the trend line, I believe he will be by the end of his career. But at this point, he's not there yet. I don't think you can definitively make that statement. I would agree with Joey. I would put them about on par with one another. Difference being that Manning has the longevity with 2 different teams.
Winning with 2 different teams in 2 different points of his career was pretty freaking incredible.
We just won 2 Super Bowls with no receivers, guys.
You had Kadarius Toney, the number 1 receiver in his own mind.
Thanks, nephew.
Also,
Ryan, for sending
according
that
to
in.
you, MVS is him. So what are you talking about?
Oh, yeah. All right. We have our first wife-submitted squeeze, boys. Watch out.
Oh boy,
Chris,
this can only go
you're-
great.
Chris, your lovely wife, Mariah, has sent in a squeeze trashing me. So here we go,
Oh,
I
boys.
love you already, darling.
At the 22-minute mark, Cody said that it will never happen in regards to having more teams be able to compete for the college football national championship. By this logic, your previous Chiefs wouldn't have had the opportunity to win the Super Bowl simply because they weren't ranked as the top 4 team. They were ranked as the 3rd seed. So that is already off to a bad start, Mariah. Bring it on. I highly disagree, all caps, highly disagree that there's no chance for a Cinderella story in college football because otherwise, how would CSU take CU into overtime in a game that CU was supposed to throttle them? Any team can beat any team on any given day in the college football arena. Also proven by USC getting their asses handed to them with Caleb Williams at the helm after being talked up for so long, but then pulling out a win against the 11-ranked Arizona.
Yeah.
There are always potentials for Cinderella stories, and your dog shit opinion has no teeth. Love you, bro, but that's a terrible
Good for
None
him.
of her
House.
stuff makes sense. CSUNC was 2 dog trash teams. That's not what we were talking about.
No, yes,
Not
exactly
at the
what we're
time.
talking about.
CU was ranked.
It doesn't matter. They all end up
Cody,
terrible.
that's exactly that's exactly her point. Is because when you go into with the rankings and you get somebody who could come in as a Liberty. I know they got their dicks kicked in last year, but you could have that opportunity with somebody who is overranked. She's not saying that
It was
CU
week 3.
deserved. No, that's not the point. She's not saying that CU deserved that ranking. She's saying at that point that they were ranked at that point. And then CSU could have gone in and beat a ranked team at their home stadium. That can and I think will happen with this new setup. You will have that happen where there will be a team who is overranked, who doesn't have the record to prove it, but is overhyped, gets into the playoff because of the extended amount of players, teams that are in there, and then say it's a 5-12 shit happens all the time in NCAA.
In basketball, it's a whole different thing.
All the time. I think we could probably see.
But it's college sports. I mean, at the end of the day, it's college sports.
Dude, I think we could probably see. I don't know how they're going to line it up. Is it going to be like a 1 versus 12, or is there going to? I think it's going to be a. I think they're going to get the 4. 4 are going to get us by. Then it's going to be 1 and 8 or whatever. 4
I think that
and 12.
sounds right.
5 and 12.
Here's my thought. The Cinderella. Hold on. No, this is against me. This is attacking me.
Because she's right.
No, not even close. If a big,
especially the points about you being terrible.
It's going to.
All I'm talking about is the small schools who get in. If LSU has a bad year, and actually Mike from Georgia is backing me up on this. If LSU is never going to be a Cinderella story, if you're in the Big Ten or the SEC, you're not a Cinderella story. We're talking about these small schools like the Liberties, like the Tulanes. If Mizzou has a great year and they make a run, that's not a Cinderella story. It's these small-ass schools going to get in and nothing's going to happen.
UCLA made the national championship, 2 years ago in March Madness as an 11 seed. Were they not a Cinderella story? Were they not a team?
No, that's a historic program. That's not a Cinderella
story. Who gives a shit what the history has been?
That's
any
everything.
of those 5 starting kids had nothing to do with any of that history. Those 5 kids were ranked as an 11 seed. Were not expected to do shit. Who cares what my school has accomplished?
Because they underperformed.
We
UCLA.
are a team who has not done anything worth a damn in decades, and yet now here we are as the underdogs. Every single game coming in and kicking people in the teeth because we are playing as a complete squad and surprising people. That's what a Cinderella story is. It doesn't matter. It does not matter what your school has done.
UCLA was never a Cinderella story. No one ever brought that up. This is the first time we've been arguing this for 3 weeks. This is the first time you remembered UCLA made a run.
Well, that was an amazing run.
But that wasn't a Cinderella story run.
Cinderella story.
Okay, then let's talk about 12-0 UCF. Let's talk about 12-0 UCF knocking down number 6th ranked Auburn back in 2016, something like that.
Yeah.
Like that is exactly the sort of thing that we can look forward to happening now that the CFP is expanded. So if you're wanting to keep this just to college football, like there's an opportunity right there to talk about a young up and coming program, a smaller school going in and taking it right in the teeth of one of the SEC's powerhouses of the last couple decades.
Okay, so they win one game and then they get their ass kicked. They're not going to do it 3 or 4 weeks in a row and go win a national title. It will never happen. The odds are in my favor and not anyone else.
So you're defining Cinderella story
your
as
soul,
you
McCoy?
can only consider it a Cinderella story if you go and win the national championship. That's it. You as a sports fan never actually want to root for the little guy going and outperforming.
Yeah, if you don't close the deal, you're not a Cinderella.
Being
you just get
proud
forgotten.
of what you accomplished.
Haven't you seen Rocky?
Yeah,
that was one fight. He fought for Philly, and he lost, McCoy, but he earned the respect of everyone.
That means nothing to me.
McCoy has always been a big Clubber Lang fan, and
that means nothing to me. It's terrible.
That's so disappointing.
We talk about is Appalachian State doing it in week 2, 14 years. That's the only reference we have.
That's the only opportunity they had at that point. If somebody's taking advantage of that opportunity,
that's fine.
That is what Mariah's take was, is that somebody will have that chance one day. They will
And
have
they
that
won't
chance.
do it.
And they will do it.
They will get embarrassed
they
on national television.
Okay,
I
so-
love
so-
you, Mariah.
so wait a
I
minute.
believe in you. I believe in this.
It's not
squeeze.
Liberty is never going to go anywhere against who's the number 4 seed. Those teams ain't going anywhere, guys.
The number 4 seed's not going anywhere?
No, if
Because-
Liberty plays whoever, insert number 4 seed, they're not
It'll
going
be the
anywhere.
5. It'll be 5-12. That's what I was trying to do before you interrupted me.
5-12 is an
It'll be
NC Mark.
5-12 from there on.
Oh my
Because, yeah,
God!
that's what it- that's
Cody,
what it'll be
Cody
seeding, 'cause the
only
first
cares
four will
about
get
the
a bye.
national championship. He cares nothing about the process, nothing about the fact that these smaller schools who would never even get to sniff national relevance are now actually getting their opportunity on the national stage.
Because they shouldn't get it.
Get a
They
chance.
shouldn't get it. No.
So should we completely revamp March Madness? Just take number 1, number 2 in the country, just let them play, have that just be.
That's
the
where we're
national
going. They're going to have
championship every
14
single
teams
year?
in the CFP. It's going to be a joke. I hate this. Let's go 6 or 8 teams. Do that. We
Oh
don't
my
need
God.
50 CFP.
You were an embarrassment to sports fandom.
Hey, Mike from Georgia. Juice Boy McCoy is right is the subject line. Cody is right about
I
the
thought I liked you. I thought I liked you.
Subject.
Cody is right about the expanded playoffs and Cinderella story. Football is way different than basketball when it comes to those types of runs. Who even is the last football team to go on a run like that? I guess you could say the 2014 Ohio State with Cardell Jones winning 3
guess
games
you
in a
can.
row.
Yes, you
that they were
can.
at least 7-point
100%
underdogs. But
can.
Ohio State isn't an underdog team. The Liberties and the Tulanes of the world will never come in as a 10-12 seed, knock off 3 straight games like that in a Power 5 team. LSU, Penn State, Auburn at a 10-12 seed isn't a Cinderella story either. Upsets will happen, but not a run of 3 in a row like you see in March Madness. Sincerely, Mike from Georgia. And in parentheses, new location coming soon.
Ooh.
Is Mike leaving Georgia?
Where are you going? Well, he's an Ohio State fan. Is he going back
Mike,
to the
where are you?
motherland?
Where's he
Mike,
going?
please just let us know you're safe.
Thank you, Mike.
Mike, in
Mike, you're
Georgia,
full of shit,
I'm still
but I
gonna
just
call
hope
you
you're
Mike
safe.
in Georgia. Mike calling you Mike in Georgia in South Carolina. If there's something like that's where you move. But
He said it right. LSU, Penn State, Auburn. If they make it 10-12 and they make an upset, who gives a shit? That's not a Cinderella story. We're talking small schools. They're going to get annihilated. If they win one game, great. But you're not going to make a run here.
you don't know
I know.
we don't know unless we see it. Right?
The starting spreads will be 48 points.
If you're in the playoffs, you're in the playoffs, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting, and it will happen.
We'll be doing this
Absolutely.
show for 15 more years and it'll never happen.
Oh, Mike from Georgia, I've got some thoughts.
Oh,
So to say you can't point to anything, anybody who's had success that you could call a Cinderella story, except for the very first CFP that ever happened ever to your school.
Ohio State's not a Cinderella story. He was trying to give an example.
100% that was.
So wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Ohio
Let me
State
finish
is
my thought.
never
Let me
a
finish my
Cinderella
thought.
story.
That
Hang on.
doesn't.
So if
Chris,
your
please,
definition
Chris.
is a team that was not expected to get in, makes a run, goes and wins the Natty, that's the only opportunity we've had up until this point. If you're talking about a team that overperforms, that brings in a bunch of momentum, that people are looking down on, that they think is just because they are heads and shoulders above the conference that they play in, then let's talk about the undefeated UCF team, which if you're then going to come back and go, oh, well, they didn't go on a run of 3. They didn't wind up having to slog through a playoff. Do you know why? Because we didn't have that fucking opportunity up until right now.
Exactly.
We didn't have
And they
that
wouldn't have. They
chance.
got their ass kicked.
No, they wouldn't have. They beat
They went
Auburn.
and kicked the shit out of Auburn, who was top 10 in the country.
They're top 10, bro.
And so they got their one single opportunity to go and prove it, and they went and proved it. And that is a team who now, in this day and age, would have had the opportunity to then move on and to then move to that next level. Do they, don't they, doesn't make a difference. We've got an opportunity to actually witness teams go and just leave it all on the field. And so to say we've not had a Cinderella story, yeah, that's because that was a functional component of the way that the CFP has been structured until right now.
yes,
We will witness
Yes.
mediocrity, blowouts,
that was amazing.
a good first
Chris.
half game.
That was
Joey.
amazing.
Thanks, JoJo. I love you.
was
Joey, if
amazing.
people want to join the debate or submit their squeezes of the week, their most outlandish takes, how do they do so, friend?
Listeners, you can submit your most outlandish sports takes by emailing us at juiceboyshow at gmail.com. That is juiceboys.
Oh,
Wow.
jeez.
Oh, jeez.
Take her from the top, Joe.
I don't even have it in front of me. I was just trying to remember it.
The email is the component that you forgot? It's been the same for a half a year.
You can submit your most outlandish sports take by emailing us at juiceboyshow@gmail.com or send us a DM on Instagram at juiceboyshow with how many S's, Chris?
2, Chase. 2.
Two, Chase. Don't forget it. And if it has the poll, read it on the show. Chris, sponsoring today's show.
It's time we discuss the age-old question, why are there no good options for men's lingerie that combine my love for sports with my want to feel sexy? Now, I, for one, have heard our very own Sultan of Sift ask this very question dozens of times.
That's right.
And almost exclusively to children and the elderly.
Oh, no. That was with us.
Well, dear Juice Boy Joe, listen up, because I'm so excited to tell you that your prayers have been answered by MLB brand men's lingerie by Fanatics. That's right, fellas. The day has finally come where you can match athletic wear with leaving almost nothing to the imagination. Joey, you can finally rest assured that everyone at the baseball game knows your count is 1 ball, 1 strike.
Oh, Jesus.
McCoy, you can fulfill your lifelong dream of playing cornhole while showing off your cornhole. So, ladies, if you're listening, make sure you go check out MLB brand men's lingerie by Fanatics for the fella in your life. MLB brand men's lingerie by Fanatic, because every sport can be made better by incorporating your foul balls.
Oh, happy for that sponsor. Thanks for coming on
that
board.
one was a little in the pocket. Just a bit.
Thanks for supporting our show, boys.
It only gets worse from your listener. I'm sorry.
We got a big potato, big topic of the day. We got a fun one this week. Changing it up on everyone. We're taking a road trip for this big potato.
Right.
Everyone's taking their own cross-country road trip. You got 2 people in the sports world to road trip with. A lot of things to think about here.
That's right.
A lot of things. Long road trip. Not a lot of leg room potentially. How many stops are you going to make? Bathroom breaks? Food breaks? Who's going to drive? Who's not? Who's a good conversationalist? I'd like to see where you guys took this. Who are you taking a road trip with? JoJo. First one.
Oh, I'm so excited to hear this.
See, I've been arguing about this for a long time. Okay, we've been talking about this topic because I've had this number 1 pick. I'm going with the one and only John Madden on the Madden Cruiser.
Oh my God.
Okay. I'm going with John Madden on the Madden Cruiser. All right. Now, for the listener who doesn't,
pick. Oh, I love it.
The listener who doesn't know, John Madden was terrified of flying. All right. And back in the 50s and 60s, unfortunately, there was a lot of accidents, like plane crashes, where a lot of teams, full teams, died in plane crashes. Most notably, Marshall football team died in a plane crash. So after that happened, John Madden vowed that he would never get on a plane again. And so for the rest of his coaching career and the rest of his broadcasting career, which was very extensive, he rode around on the Madden Cruiser. And he would not fly. And it was funny because he was always doing the marquee games. And the one marquee game every single year, the one game that he never did was the Pro Bowl, because he used to always be in Hawaii. And he's just like, no, I'm not going. And so the original Madden Cruiser was built in 1987. And it was a Greyhound bus. All right. And in this in this Greyhound bus, it had, now at this time, that's a really big deal. It had 2 TVs, it had 6 beds, right? And it had a full range of the kitchen, refrigerators, bathrooms, and everything. It was an 898 horsepower
God.
bus that he just took around
Just a behemoth.
everywhere that he went. Originally, then after that, it got sponsored by Outback Steakhouse and became unbelievable. But I want to go in the original Madden Cruiser, that original bus. I want to go in that Greyhound bus. You guys just take a guess on how many miles that bus had on it.
600,000.
Go to $1 million.
No, Cody, that takes the wind out of it. Yeah, that yeah,
I get it. I got it
yeah,
right.
it was like 680,000. You were right there.
I lost by Price is Right rules.
But you think, but he's only 680,000 miles only going to football. That is that's pretty outstanding. I want to ride around with John Madden, hear his stories about football, all the places. You know that everywhere he's going to go, the dude was enormous. So you know that everywhere he's going to go, he's going to know the best places to stop for food. Give it to me. I want to ride around the country on the Madden Cruiser.
That's a tough one to beat.
What a spectacular
What a
pick.
start.
Oh my God. I felt like I was on that bus with you right now. Yeah, fellas. So if we're going cross country road trip, you know, it's not good enough to have someone that you enjoy road tripping with. I wanted to go with somebody who's known for their driving. I want someone who is specifically famous because of their driving. Because I don't just want to be in charge of driving all of us. It's a road trip. We're taking turns.
Yep.
We're going across the country to God knows where. And so I'm going with a fella. Let's see if you can make a guess. He's got 8 wins. He's got 32 podiums, no championships, F1.
8 wins, no championship.
Correct.
Daniel Ricciardo.
Fucking nailed it. Wow.
Yeah,
Perfect.
baby. I told you I like F1.
I know you do.
Yeah.
Daniel Ricciardo is a guy whose personality I think I would personally very, very much enjoy.
Daniel
He's an
Ricciardo.
extremely charming, really easygoing, like just really charismatic fella. Yeah, who's a spectacular driver. He's the one who kind of put Red Bull on the map when they were on the come up.
Yep.
He was there as Max Verstappen kind of took over as driver 1.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's hopped around a little bit, but now this season finds himself back at the helm, racing as driver number 2 for Red Bull.
I'm so pumped.
Oh yeah, I'm so excited to see him back in that seat. Like he absolutely deserves it. Even if this is the end of his career, like he definitely deserves another opportunity to drive for Red Bull. That's where he had all of his success. You know, he was a big role in getting Red Bull to where it has been the last several years. Yeah, it's spectacular to see. So I would just love to road trip with Daniel Ricciardo, hear all about his life stories, and also just see what does it look like when you are the passenger in a standard vehicle driven by a Formula One driver who also seems like just kind of a genuine maniac in his own right.
Well, all right. I'm going to try to keep up with, I'm going to go with an announcer. I'm going Marv Albert.
Marv Albert.
My only worry, he's 82, so I'm a little worried on the
John
pit
Madden's
stops.
dead, dude.
So you're going to be driving 15 under in the left lane with a blinker on, but you're going to be enjoying the hell out of it.
Yeah.
That's fair. Yeah. Marv Albert, did you guys know he did 8
driving
Super
a hearse.
Bowls? Got a lot of room back there. Marv Albert did 8 Super Bowls, which I did not know. 9 NBA Finals. He did all the 90s before Bob Costas. 7 Stanley Cup Finals. He called Wimbledon tennis. He was the voice of the Knicks in 1963. So that's before Willis Reed, Walt Frazier, Dick Barnett, Dave DeBusschere, all those guys won 2 rings in New York in the mid-'60s. And so that's when Marv Albert got his start. He was the voice of the NBA on NBC during the Jordan years. Obviously was calling games during the Bird and Magic years. Saw Dr. J. He was the Nets announcer during the ABA years. He did all the TNT All-Star games until he retired and Kevin Harlan took over. Man, you need to burn some time with some stories. I like the John Madden pick, but Marv Albert's got all the sports. He did it for 55 years.
No, I bet he could tell you about when he bit a hooker in the back and got thrown into jail.
I was just about to say.
He Joey getting ahead of the game here.
That's right.
He did get arrested.
A lot of stories about that, huh?
Yeah. So we got some hooker stories. Everyone said he wore a wig,
nice
so we can talk
blend.
about that. Yeah. It's a long road trip. You get really in depth with these conversations, so I can call him out on the wig. All the Jordan stories, all the Barkley stories. I think I'd have to drive a little bit more, so I got to figure out my next guy who's going to help me out driving a little bit. So I'm assuming Marv's not driving at night. So
Marv also had a couple of DUIs, so he shouldn't be driving.
Check his breath before. Yeah, just check his breath before you switch.
Yeah,
check under the seat for the water bottle.
He's not a good man, McCoy. He's not. He doesn't have the best track record of decency.
But if you need stories, you got to burn some time.
Neither does McCoy.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh, that was
Damn
harsh, buddy.
I don't believe either of you.
Joey, round 2, what do you got? Who's your second?
All right,
Second
since
in
we're
command.
riding in the Madden Cruiser, all right,
That's a cop out, by the way.
that is not a cop out.
You
That
get a
is
Honda
beautiful.
van. You get a
That's
van. You
not
get a
a
Honda
not a van.
Odyssey.
We are taking the Madden Cruiser.
Wait a minute. I love
cross-country.
Cody's version of this.
Yeah.
You're getting into a Honda van. You roll up, and John's like, "I got the Cruiser right there." Like, why the fuck are we? What are we? Are you
No, because
sure?
Cody said I have to ride in
Like
the van.
she's got 680,000 miles on her. I think we could put a few more. Like it'd be all right. We'd be a lot more comfortable. Joey's like, nah. My brother-in-law said I was only allowed to take this.
The Honda Odyssey. What do you got, Joe? Number 2.
Since we're riding in the van, right? I was just trying to think of somebody that I would love to hear stories of the road. Somebody I'd love to hear stories of
If you steal
just
mine,
dominance of baseball
you're gonna steal mine.
for several years.
Oh, this is really pieced
You want to
together.
restart this, bud?
I do.
Why don't we just take a type 5?
Because you're like, am I going to take mine?
He's starting. his
Are you?
Joey is restarting the video of a fireplace on his TV because he couldn't possibly be bothered to make this pick without a video of a fireplace on his TV.
Oh,
dude.
without the vibe.
I'll wait.
No, we've been waiting long enough. Why don't you go ahead?
No,
Go for
I
it.
will wait. Now I can get started. Okay. Now for the listener to paint the picture. Now a fire is just beautifully growing behind me, and it sets the tone for my next pick.
This answer is a fire in and of itself.
All right, for my next pick, we're sitting on the Madden Cruiser. All right, and since I'm not driving, my buddy's not driving, and I want to talk to somebody who has been around the road, who
Someone's got to drive. You're
who
taking a road
handles-
trip.
Who's driving?
No, John
Did you
Madden's
hire a
driving. He's
driver?
driving
Okay.
his cruiser,
What?
dude. Well, I'm not worried about that. And we're riding the Madden Cruiser, okay? And so
You're bringing
I'm
John Madden
gonna
back
sit
to
in the
life
back,
and forcing
and I'm
him to
gonna-
drive you across the country.
I'm not forcing him to do anything. He wants to drive. You know, and I'm going to talk to somebody who is going to tell me the story, the history of baseball, how to be a real baseball player. I'm going to talk to a guy who was 18 years in the league, 3,010 hits, a 328 batting average, 2 Gold Gloves, played for the Boston Red Sox for 11
Yeah, you're
years,
safe, McCoy.
and famously drank 107 beers in a cross-country trip. I'm going to take Wade Boggs.
What a connect.
Because Wade Boggs was also like a Hall of Fame player, one of the best third basemen who's ever played baseball. 3,000 hits, as I've already said. Boston icon. But what his real claim to fame, his real glory of his career was the amount of beer that this guy can throw back. And if I'm taking a cross-country road trip on the Madden Mobile, the Madden Cruiser, then I'm sitting back there and I'm going to plow some beers with Wade Boggs. And I'm going to hear the stories of the road and try to understand how somebody can have 67 beers on a flight from Boston to Chicago. Okay. And then from Chicago to Boston, from Chicago to Seattle, then finish it off with 107 beers total at the end of this. You should be dead. Okay, you should be dead. But not only was he not dead, he went 2 for 3 the next game, and the Red Sox beat the Mariners. His teammate, Brian Rose, stated that he was impressed with Boggs' hitting abilities, but he was more impressed with his drinking prowess. I was sitting next to him on a plane, and a flight attendant came by and gave him a case of beer. He slid it under the seat, and I was like, okay, what's up with that? We only have an hour flight. He said, that's mine. Rose recalls that he didn't even see Boggs go to the bathroom during any of their travels and certainly didn't see him acting drunk. Beer doesn't affect me, Rose remembers him saying. I don't get drunk unless I have at least a case and a half. So this is the dude I want to see, hear these stories, see this. And also, you don't have to stop all the time for them to have to pee. I think this is
Hold on.
Madden Mobile has to have a bathroom, right?
Yeah, but exactly. But he's not going to fill it up the entire time. We have to stop to dump.
I'm confused that you're bringing John Madden back from the dead to drive the entire
It's a
trip
DD for you.
Yeah.
because you and Wade Boggs are drinking too many beers. You're not going to be able to help out old John.
No,
Like
not at all.
meanwhile,
selfish
you're
road trip
hammered. You go
at all.
stumbling up in the front, and you're like, Wade, the corpse of John Madden hasn't even pulled out of the driveway yet.
Yeah, it's
I
going to
can't
be
believe this. We haven't gone anywhere. It's been like
That's it.
6 hours.
You're gonna do that to John? You're not even gonna take it.
Of course, I'm going to. He's
Like,
going
it
to
sounds
all
like
the best places.
you're just leaving him up front to drive while the two of you get hammered in the back of the
Well, we don't have to go
bus.
back. We could be drinking with him.
That's illegal.
You know, but he's not gonna be drinking while he's driving. But I'm just saying, like we could be up there, we could be talking, and talking about baseball and football while John's driving. But I just want to see. I want to see Wade Boggs plow. Well, let's do this.
Could you imagine how annoyed you'd be? You're dead for years, and you get pulled out of heaven to reanimate your body, and someone's like, "Hey man, you got a DD. We're hammered."
Across the country.
You got a DD for the next 12 hours. Can you imagine 12 hours worth of just driving around drunk
Is that
people
all we're talking
against
about?
your
12
will?
hours?
No, across
I was
country.
hoping
It's
across
like
country.
36, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh my God. So a day and a half worth of dealing with DDing for drunk people? Like you're doing a full work week worth of Ubering drunk people around against your will after you've died.
Joey, I'm not on board with yours. I
This
don't want
sounds
to be
like
in yours.
this sounds like you're punishing John Madden.
This is how you pay him back? Chris, number 2. Let's move on from this.
Oh,
I think
man.
it'd be a great time. Me and Wade
For you.
Boggs.
For you,
Wade
you've been
Boggs.
having
You could have had
watching
anyone,
baseball,
just an RV with
slamming
a homeless
beers,
guy, and you would have had the same.
eating turducken, just chilling out in the Madden Cruiser. It sounds like a great road trip.
Chris, save us from this.
What a pick, Joe. So keeping with my theme of folks who are known for their driving, I'm taking a little bit of a turn on us. I'm going with a fella who had 11 years in the NFL, who had 6 Pro Bowl selections, 5 first-team AP All-Pros,
Oh,
2,400 rushing yards, 61 rushing touchdowns. Mr. Orenthal James Simpson. He's famous for his driving acumen. We're hopping in the new 2024 Ford Bronco.
What color?
White, obviously. He and I and Daniel Ricciardo are driving across the country, just celebrating our friendship, how meaningful this trip is. But here's the thing that I want you fellas to think about. Daniel Ricciardo is 34, 35. He's about my age.
yeah.
He's from Perth, Australia. There is no reason to expect that he has any idea who the hell O.J. Simpson is.
Of course he does. Everybody
And so-
knows who O.J. Simpson.
Why would he know that? Why would he know that growing up in Australia? In my version of this, he has no idea who O.J. Simpson is, because why the hell would he? But all of a sudden, we're about halfway through the trip. It's one of their turns driving the car. I'm sitting in the back seat, and it all of a sudden hits Daniel Ricciardo that like, oh hey, Chris made a whole big thing about us being really good at driving. You're a football star. Why is it?
He's gonna he's gonna open the door.
Why is it that you're known for driving?
There's gonna be
Mr.
driving
Simpson?
gloves in the glove box too.
What is it that piqued Chris's interest in your driving capabilities as our other passenger, sir? And I would just
Why
love
are
to
you
just
here?
I would just
Why
love
are
to
you
witness, where does OJ take that conversation?
God.
Where does OJ and his limitless wisdom
you wanna be a
decide
fly
he
on the
wants to
wall.
head with that answer? Could you imagine that moment? That would be like OJ could kill me right then. I would happily die. That would be amazing.
You'll be in the middle of the desert or something. That'll be a good time to bury you.
Yeah, that's fine.
And here's how I picture them up front, you in the back. OJ asked for him to open the glove box to get him a piece of gum, and there's a glove there.
Isotoners.
Yeah, or there's a number of different things. Oh, I can't keep up with these guys.
Oh
Damn.
my God.
Oh, it's beautiful. I've been so excited to share this with you fellas.
I want to wrap us up. I'm gonna take another driver. I'm gonna take Ricky Bobby.
Oh, let's go.
Baby.
Wait a minute. So is it Will Ferrell playing Ricky Bobby, or pluck Ricky Bobby, the fictional character, out of the movie?
Out of the movie, because I need the
Okay.
professional driver
I love
in the
it.
car. I think he'll try to. He's
wanna
got
go
some
fast.
stories himself. Yeah, he's gonna get us there fast. He can take over for Marv's time as far as driving. I think they'll mesh well. Ricky's he's a family guy. He's a funny guy. A lot of energy. He can drive through the night. Got a lead foot. I'm gonna go Ricky
are the
A lot
Bobby.
of
odds?
Marv
stories
Albert.
about him fighting cougars.
Yeah, what are
Yes.
the odds that he wants to bring the cougar on board? Because if this is
Karen?
late, This is like late redemption Ricky Bobby. He was racing with that cougar in the car, and so like, are you comfortable with that?
I'm assuming
does
we'll
that cougar eat Marv Albert like that deer at Joey's school? It is.
Roll.
I think we're gonna be able to get into every Applebee's as for every stop. So we'll do Applebee's, probably some fast food too. But yeah, that's the real, what a potato, boys. What a
beautiful
start.
one.
That was a beautiful one.
All right, friends. Remember, you can listen to the show on all major podcast networks and YouTube. Please consider following and rating the show. Leave us a review if you listen through Apple. We will read it. We'll do it, even if it's bad. We'll read it.
Well, don't do it, man.
But we encourage you to leave a positive. But I mean, we'll read them anyway. But just so if you listen to Apple, leave us a review. We encourage you to follow our YouTube channel. Push that subscribe button. Also, be a friend. Tell a friend about the podcast. Go.
That just about does it for us. We're gonna wrap up with a stat of the day. Who is sponsoring today's stat of the day, Mr. Chris?
Dear Juice Junkies, we here at the Juice Boys Show are very in tune with modern wellness practices, which is why we're so excited to announce our newest advertising collaboration with Taco Bell.
Oh, yes.
So Taco Bell has been keeping Americans enamored for decades by finding different ways to assemble the exact same beans, cheese, meat, and tortillas over and over again. But Taco Bell realized they're missing out on that critical modern health-crazed hippie market. So they turned to the most logical podcast, The Juice Boys Show, which is why we're proud to announce the release of the brand new Taco Bell Live Más 5-layer bean and cheese personal enema.
Jeez.
Yes, that's right, dear Juice Junkie. You can now skip all the discomfort of actually having to eat Taco Bell and skip right to the part where it sends you sprinting to the nearest bathroom in a panic attack. The Taco Bell Live Más 5-layer bean and cheese personal enema is now available at all Kansas City Taco Bell locations. Thanks, Taco Bell.
You're the worst.
I
Cheap
thought we
shot.
might finally earn our very first cease and desist.
Yes, we're going for it. We're
That's
going
got
for
to do it. That's got to do it, right?
Jeez. All right, guys. Stat of the day to wrap us up. We're going with highest paid mascots in the NBA. Who can guess? I got 5, if you guys can guess any of them. But how much are they also getting paid?
I believe I know
Talented
number one.
mascots out there.
I have to know number one because it's the only one that I know. 3,
His name is
2, 1. Rocky the Mountain Lion.
He is. He is number 1.
Yeah, Rocky. Yeah.
How much is old Rocky getting paid?
fantastic. Is it salary or per game?
Annual salary.
I'm going to say $90,000.
Fun.
That's the highest
Okay,
paid.
so there's 82
Mascots
games.
don't get paid
He'll be
shit.
there for 41 games of those.
Yep. Plus travel, all-star game, plus...
Oh, if he's
Some
that
other
good,
things.
then he goes. Okay, so I'm going to say.
Rocky's the highest paid. He gets some perks.
Okay, so
Yeah,
that
I
lets
know,
you know
I know,
I'm
you can say
way low.
No,
you
I'm
can
just
say
saying.
that,
No,
you
I'm
can
just
say
saying
that.
he gets.
Well, you can say that, but then at the same time, like NFL cheerleaders make like $80 a game. Like it's like absurd how low they get. So, mascots, but also Rocky back in the day was a really big deal until I remember I was at the game when he was coming down from the Raptors and when he went into the net. And then he fell backwards and he broke his leg and he was hanging from the rim. It was so hilarious and bad. And then they get a new Rocky after that because he like destroyed his leg. I'm going to say 250.
Not even close. Either of you.
Really?
Old Rocky makes $625 a year.
Oh my God.
$620,000 a year?
A year.
I pulled the old Joey and I was off by a factor of 10.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Way to go, Rocky. That's spectacular. Serves every bit of it.
That's more than
15 grand a game.
That's what I'm saying. It's more than 10 grand a game. Jesus, I want that job.
That's
But I
fantastic.
can't do flips and
I can't do any of what you can do. I can put on a head and cause shenanigans.
All right, so
you got
let's
a
think.
skill.
Where's the Phoenix Gorilla?
Number 4, Joey. Nice
Phoenix,
job. He gets
Phoenix
paid.
Gorilla.
He's Go the Gorilla. Gets paid $200K.
Let's go with
who's Rocky's agent?
See, that's what I was thinking. I was like, 200,000 seems like a lot. Even
Who's
at that
Rocky's agent, guys? Damn.
What about? I remember back in the day, the
Chicago
Charlotte
Bulls
Hornets.
mascot.
Oh,
He's
Bulls.
legit.
That's a good one.
Benny the Ball, number 3.
Nice.
400K.
Oh man, I thought he was for
Nice.
sure number 2. He's all over the place.
400K.
I heard that the Charlotte Hornets used to have a crazy one.
Number 5, Joe. We're down.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Hugo the Hornet gets paid 100K.
Oh my God. And who else? Who else has a mascot?
Number 2, his name is Harry.
Harry, the actual alive velociraptor for the Toronto Raptors. Thank you.
From Jurassic Park.
Yes.
Utah Jazz.
Harry the Utah Jazz? Not
Yeah, I
correct.
don't know. I don't know what their thing is. Harry the
Harry the
Utah
Jazz
Jazz.
hole.
Harry Harry the Hawk gets paid 600K. We need to get those agents on our.
Ooh, Harry the Hawk at 600.
They need to sign the Juice Boys.
Wow.
I mean, we're basically a walking joke.
You know what else is a joke? This podcast is over. We're wrapping it up.
Rapping.
God, this
31.
is a fun one.
31 episodes in the books. Please continue to share on social, follow on social, share with your friends and family.
Or don't.
Be a
Do whatever
friend.
you want.
Tell a friend.
Yeah, we're picking up steam. We're enjoying doing it. Give us any feedback. What do you want to see more of, less of? We're trying to learn, get better for you guys. Trying to bring a smile to your face as sports morons. So, love, love, love.
Love, love.
Bye,
See you next
everybody.
week. Bye-bye.
Love.
Joey sucks.